focusing a lot on, well, obviously this tile right here. Well, maybe not so obviously if you don't know, but we are going to be focusing a lot on this tile today. So let's start with, I think, a little bit of our, let's start with some cadmium yellow deep on here. Because we're trying to capture the highlight of that slice right there, that piece of the boat, the top of the boat. Okay, let's go. I think just a little of that cadmium yellow deep, maybe a little of the white too. Okay. A little of that, a little of this. And let's add some white, guys. Just a touch of white to all that. It all sounds so easy, but it never is. Oh, I wish. I think we might need some more yellow on that. Let's just bring the yellow over to the side. It is hard to get these colors light enough sometimes. Sometimes it takes... It's easier to add a color to white than it is to add white to a color. We'll put it that way. I don't think that's the color that we're looking for. No, 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 no. I think part of the problem is that maybe we have too many colors underneath that are interfering with what we're doing. Well, sometimes it's hard to keep your palette clean, guys. See how that looks? Just a little bit better, I think. I think if we just add a little bit more of a regular color to that, maybe we might be getting someplace. Okay. I think we might have something here. Let's I'm already getting some I'm already getting some color on my fingers. What else is new? I can't paint without getting some paint on my fingers. Okay. Now let's bring this down slightly right here. And that's pretty close to the color that we're looking for, I think. Yeah, that's not too far from it. Okay, let's focus here for a second. Bring this down right here. Okay, and then the line that we're looking for is going to go to about yay here. We're repainting a lot of this. We're repainting an awful lot, aren't we? Yeah, I guess we are. But sometimes you have to, guys. Sometimes if your proportions just aren't all there, you gotta throw everything you've done to the wind. And I think this is just one of those times. Might have been a little too hard on this orange yellow that I made because I thought that it wasn't going to be very good when I tried it out just now. But it's turning out to be pretty decent. People keep asking me what I'm painting, and I tell them I'm painting a marina. I'm not sure people know what a marina is, but it's a place where there's a lot of boats and a lot of water. boats, a lot of water. Okay. All right, we're going to be covering up a lot of that over there with the post that's going to be in the foreground. So I guess we don't have to commit too fully to all that. Let's maybe concentrate on the shadow part of the boat in the background, which I think we'll pull out some of our mud color for and finally get to using that. I hope that everyone's doing well today. Hope that everyone's doing alright, guys. Well, if not, I hope things get better real fast. As always, guys. I think let's add some blue to this, just a little ultramarine. No big deal. Let's see how it all looks. This one might need a little bit of something. Maybe a little bit of gray to it. Because the color that I've mixed up is a little bit blue. A little bit. I think I want something just a, I don't know, a tad more neutral. And we can fix that by adding some cadmium yellow to the mix. That'll neutralize things real fast. Okay, let's see how this looks against that. It's a little dark. Yeah, it's a little dark. Might not be too bad though. I think I need to add some white on it though. That neutral gray color is kind of what I'm looking for here. Which, I don't know. We'll see what it looks like in context, and that's really what matters with painting is just how the whole thing looks in context. Yeah, so let's just add a smidge more white to it. Look how it looks up against this. And let's see how we do, guys. Hopefully this color doesn't look too shabby. I'm a little bit worried about it, but we'll find out. Okay, let's try it out, guys. Let's decide how far we want to bring this. Okay. Up against that cadmium yellow, excuse me, up against the yellow color that we just painted, it actually doesn't look that bad. So that's kind of a relief. All right. Let's keep going here. Keep going. We almost got it. There. Keep going and bring it down. Okay. Boy, I hope that neutral color is going to pay off. It's not bad. It's just maybe a little, I don't know, it's a little drab. Oh well, not every color gets to be a bright one. Not every color gets to stand out. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more of a lip on the boat there. Something a little bit more, something that just stands out more, I guess is what I want here. Okay. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Just needs to be about one value step higher or so. So that there's some separation between the highlight and the information underneath. There. Better. Better. A little bit more. Okay. All right. Now let's see if we can get a little bit of. I got some things I need to focus on right now. One is, well, getting this post shoved over here. Two is this information down in here. There's going to be a whole sign that's going to be going down in there. It's just, boy. It's a good thing we're fixing proportions now rather than later, because if we had this thing fully painted, man, what a nightmare that would be. Sometimes I look at things and just wonder, man, how'd you bungle the proportions that bad? By being out of practice. I keep saying that you don't get better at things by not doing them, and that's true enough. You really don't. And I haven't done a lot of painting in a while. Try not to be too hard on yourself. Alright, let's take a little white and a little ultramarine. I just feel like ultramarine is going to be the right color here. I think. Almost always seems like ultramarine solves most of our problems. Quote unquote most. Okay. We're doing okay. Some of these colors are maybe not the ones that we're looking for. Here's what we do. Here's what we can do. I think we can take that light yellow that we were working with. And let's try something right here. All right. There's this light yellowish color that's resting behind the sign. This sign needs to be extended over this way. We're going to do that very, very shortly from now. And this post is going to cover a lot of the information over here. The post that begins up here and comes over this way. So we're kind of painting very broadly right now, and I guess I guess we're kind of just hoping that things don't get too skewed. All right. maybe we should paint this post next, just so we have the information there and so we have a better sense of where things are going to go. And let's go ahead and focus on that. I think for that we'll need some Prussian blue. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. What's it looking like over there? Alright, we got kind of a teal color going, guys. This might work for something. Actually, it might work for a little bit for a color that I'm going to do a little bit later, but for right now I think I want more of a middle green for the middle post. Because that teal color actually works really well for something. Well, the posts that are going off to the side are going to have a little bit more of that type of color going on, but the one in the middle is going to be decidedly more, I guess, of a middle green. That's the best way to put it, really. And the one in the middle here is going to have kind of a, I guess it's going to have kind of a teal tone, but it's going to be neutralized a little bit. So we still want to have quite a bit of Prussian blue in the mix here. And I think we're somewhere in the ballpark of what we want. Okay, let's just paint this color in. And like I say, we'll have a better sense of where things are going to go after we have it all figured out. So right about here. This is going to be very dark. I think this is going to go all the way down here, and let's see, this is going to go all the way down here too. God, it's going to be wider than we think it is, isn't it? Probably. Oh, things are always that way. Everything always looks a little bit different than you think it's going to. Here, let's get the entire post in there. This is better. Yeah, this is better. Kind of fudging some of the yellow color we already put in there. Oh man. Let's see if I can just throw a little bit of a dark color in there after the fact. Yeah, that'll do. Well, sometimes if you ever run into trouble, you just kind of have to wait for things to dry before you can really continue. And that's normal. Because sometimes the painting just gets a little too wet as you're doing your thing. And if it does, you just kind of have to take it on the chin later and come back to it. Now let's find, there's going to be another lip right about down here. Let's bring that side out there and then over here too. It's going to come up just a little bit like that. Yeah. Just a little bit like that. All right. Let's let's give some thought to the highlights on this. What are we dealing with? I wonder. Hmm. I'm kind of just dipping into the white without a lot of mixing on this, and I don't know if that was the right call, but you know what? It was the call that I made. Yeah, that's okay. I don't know if I'm in love with that. It's also kind of different from what we already done. So, God, maybe the color that we got wasn't all that was cracked up to be, because this feels like it's a little closer to what I need it to be. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes you whip up a color that's a little bit more in line with what you want. And painting this right now, I feel like, yeah, this might be more of what I was looking for. Because the other color over there, it's not too shabby. But also, it doesn't feel like it's quite right. Hmm. Here, let me try putting this down right here. There. That's alright. Let's try putting this up there too. I don't know. We haven't done a lot of work on this part over here. Okay. Yeah, it kind of looks like a green fire hydrant on some level, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of has that vibe. Oh, I don't know about this one. No, it's fine. It's fine. Just, whew. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes colors surprise you guys. Sometimes colors will throw you for a loop. Sometimes they take on minds of their own. And sometimes they have other ideas about the way things are going to go. Like, I think more of an olive color over to the side here might be appropriate. Oh, God. Yeah. The thing about painting pictures like this is that you have to pay attention to the objects that are around what you're painting. Because it's not all just painting things one color. You have to pay attention to what everything that's around it, because all the objects in the vicinity will affect the colors you see in shadows. I think a lot of people might not realize that. And that's why generally a lot of artists don't really use black as much as they used to. Not that you can't paint a good painting using black, it's just that you really got to know how to use black to make it work. Otherwise, the painting kind of has this ho-hum feel to it. It just looks very gray as opposed to using black as a color. I've used black effectively before, and I could probably do it again, but also, like I say, it helps to know what to do with it. There's a few times I've used black in my paintings, but of late I don't use black that much. I actually used to use more of a Payne's Gray for a while, which is more of a watercolor type color, but still, they make it in oils. And it's not a bad color. It's just essentially a black that has a little bit of blue to it and all that. So, there's a reason it's very popular. And Van Dyke Brown, but I kind of stopped using those two. I tried using them again recently, and it just wasn't the same as it used to be, it felt like. And I think the reason for that was I was just so used to painting without them that it didn't feel like second nature anymore. Alright, let's add, I'm going to add a little bit of white to what I'm doing right here, just so that I think there's going to be a little bit of white on this. Let me see what it looks like. It doesn't look too shabby. Yeah. It's decent. It's all right. It's fascinating the way that colors just kind of come together sometimes. All right. That's probably enough work on that post for right now. Yeah, I think that's good enough. Let's concentrate on some other things. So things that maybe are more important. And right now, I think we need to get this. Just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And do it. This is about as far as this color is going to go, I think. Okay. I reckon that's about as far as that needs to go, guys. Okay. Let's extend this down below a little bit, like right about there, because obviously the post has to keep going. It has to keep going for a while, actually. It's going to go all the way down to the bottom of the painting, really. So, a lot further than we think it's going to go. You'd think that it would stop a lot earlier, but no, it does not. And we're probably going to have to repaint some of that too, because right now it's looking a little bit, I don't know, it's looking a bit light. Not even light, it's not the right word. It's looking a little bit, It's looking a little bit muddied. That's the word, muddied. So I don't know that I'm absolutely in love with things, but it's better to have a sense of where we're going than not have any direction at all. Just continuing things over into the next grid so that, again, we have a better sense of where we're going next. And also, we've already whipped up the color. It'll give us a nice key to try and figure out where we're going to take things. All right, let's maybe use some of this gray that we have whipped up, the one that we were using on the ship earlier, because I think I have an idea of where we can use that next. Right about in here. There. There. And maybe we'll take some ultramarine blue. Get that in the mix. Ultramarine blue, my old friend. Oh, I just can't stay away from you, can I? No. No, I surely can't. It's because we're old friends. And it seems that we always will be. That yellow color is getting in the way a little bit. It's not too bad. But you want to bring this down slightly. Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. You know, just I have a highlight that I made with ultramarine that I think I want to use here. I think. I don't know, I'm just feeling it. Let's just throw it in right there. That's good enough. That's pretty decent. There's going to be a kind of, I guess there's going to be a kind of green boardwalk color down in here someplace, like right at the bottom there. There's going to be a little bit of grass, and there's also going to be a little bit of this boardwalk over here. You know, the dock. The dock. I think we'll use a little sap green for the foliage color. Honestly, usually, if you have a number of colors on your palette, it's easiest to start with the one that's the closest to the color that you want to achieve. And when you put it that way, it sounds downright obvious. And if I were really going to do things that way, I probably would have taken some of the Viridian that I use occasionally and use that on the post. Matter of fact, we might do that still, because that seems like a pretty smart idea, doesn't it? Yeah, they're trying to use Prussian blue and everything. But, yeah, you know. Sometimes it's just the way she goes. think I've just about got the color I'm looking for right here. I'm more or less just adding cadmium yellow deep to the sap green, and it's getting me a pretty earthy green color. Take a look at it right there. That already looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and use it, guys. Right down here. This isn't going to be a very big slice at all. This is going to be relatively small. There. There. Okay. Let's maybe concentrate on this piece right here. Well, I guess we could throw a little bit of white on this, couldn't we? Yeah, I guess we could. The grass that we just made. See what it looks like when we add a little white. Yeah, let's try it. Not too much, just a little bit. Just a little bit. It does a little something. You can kind of see that. It's not overwhelming, but it's there. I guess that's the idea behind what I was trying to do there. It's not overwhelming, but it's there. Alright, let's concentrate on the dock right now. Because we need to get some dock going. Excuse me, we need to get some dock going on over here. I think we'll use some of that mud that we were talking about earlier. Add a little bit of alizarin crimson to that. Maybe a little bit of cadmium yellow too. It needs to be a kind of a neutral color. So we don't want things to go too bright or anything like that right now. I want it to be very, very slightly brown. Just slightly brown. Okay. I think I've just about found it. Yeah, just about. How's that look up against that color there? That's actually a little bit darker than that color, but still, it's not necessarily bad. That just means that we're finding the shadow of this dock. Okay, let's paint this right in there. It is a very dark color, isn't it? A little bit. Okay, let's get right up next to the grass right there. Right up in there. You know, in context, this looks a little violet. A little bit. Right about halfway there is where there's going to be a little streak of yellow. Okay, let's add let's add a little white here, guys. Right about halfway right there. Feels like this should be a little bit more yellowish. I don't know, guys. Just feeling it as I'm going here. There. It's a little bit more like it, guys. Finally got things light enough. Okay. And one more, like right about there. Okay. I guess we could continue things over in here too. Yeah. Not really a lot of reason not to. Right about right there is where I think that's going to end. Okay. Hmm. Let's see. This yellow color, I don't know, guys. Feels a little lemony at times. Wonder if maybe I need. God, part of me wonders, hey, should I use a little bit of Viridian for this? And I'm just sitting here going, I don't know, man. I don't know about that Viridian sometimes. Not a bad color, but no, we just don't use it a lot. Not that that isn't a good reason to use it. Okay. Well, I kind of got what I was looking for out of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know if it's going to set the world on fire there, but yeah, this is generally about the color that I think I want. This is going to angle very slightly over this way. Some of the proportions I did on this a little while ago weren't that bad, I think. Some were pretty bad, but others were a little bit better. Okay. Let's, this is going to be a pretty generous helping of yellow on this one, I think. But we're going to take this and we're just going to bring, God, we're going to bring all this all the way over, right to about yay here. It's going to be a little difficult to see. Maybe a little bit difficult to see what we're doing over it here. But I think it'll all pay off in the end. Essentially, we just have to, like, paint this sign up and down this unpainted area right here, right next to where we were putting things down earlier. And that'll do the trick. Okay. And the color is going to extend all the way over to the side. Some of the things that we've already done in here might actually still work. And let's take that teal color that we whipped up that we were saying, oh, I don't know about that one. And let's start working with that. Because right about here, and going up to about right here, ballpark, is where that pipe is going to, well, the railing. And the top of it's going to go to about right there, give or take. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay. Just bring it over this way. Good. Good, good, good. Let's make sure this is big enough now. There's going to be a little bit of this behind the sign, because the sign is kind of attached to this thing, the railing that we're painting. Okay. And let's continue it down here again. And the other one that goes off to the side here. Okay. Okay. God, this is some painting right now. Sometimes this feels like a very challenging painting to put together. I guess for good reason. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Which is probably why we started doing a grid technique on this, to try and take it easy on ourselves. Because otherwise, oh buddy, this feels like a lot at times. The detail on it is getting a little nuts. Yeah, maybe the color that I got for the boat over here generally is not that bad, so maybe we'll just keep it the way it is. Yeah, it fits in, so God, we don't need to paint things just to paint things. It's kind of silly when we get down to brass tacks, guys. Now, where were we with, oh, that's right, we were going to use more of this bronze type of color. Not even bronze, it's just more of an earthy kind of, green. Actually, it's more of a violet that's being thrown into the mix over here. Let's see what it looks like. I'm going to anchor my pinky up above. That's actually pretty close to what I think I'm looking for. Alright. I think the shadow color that I was trying to capture on the pipe was just way more violet than I initially realized. I think the best part of this is that it's really going to make that yellow here pop. Okay, a little bit over here too. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. This is kind of working for me. A little bit. It's not bad. I'll tell you what I'll do though. We're going to show something of a little twist tie type deal that is attaching the sign to the post here. So let's put it right about right there. And it's going to extend up in here. Boom. Yeah, that ain't too bad. That's fun. Okay. Alright, so we got that attached. That was easy enough, right? Yeah, that wasn't that hard. I love when things kind of just get slapped in like that. We don't have to think about it too hard. Hmm. Let's see. I don't want to play this. There's like a deep, deep blue over here at the bottom. And I'm thinking we're probably going to need some ultramarine, not ultramarine, but Prussian blue to get it done. Just dab a little of that into the mud and bring it over this way. Right to about just a little bit under halfway here on that grid line. Is that a little too dark? I don't know if that's too dark or not, but it might be a little dark in hindsight here. Let's lighten that up a little bit. A little bit lighter and a little bit friendlier. It's not a bad color, it's just in context. Whew, boy, that is pretty dark. A little bit of white takes the edge off of that, thankfully. Now let's see here. I'm hoping to pick up more of a neutral color right here. Maybe I'll take some of the ultramarine on that. Here. Our palette is getting a little bit cluttered. And when that happens, we have to kind of just scrape things together and clear things off a little bit. I think we're done with the yellow stuff for right now. And a lot of the yellow and green stuff is kind of done with. Looking for more ultramarine and boat color kind of stuff back there. There's some posts and stuff for this that we could paint over here right now, but I think we'll wait for a lot of this to dry before we do any of that, because otherwise, otherwise it could get a little cluttered. Yeah, we'll wait for it. But we will paint this boat bit right here before we say that we're done with this tile for right now, or this grid square. Yeah, I think ultramarine is definitely the closest color to what I want out of this. Ultramarine just seems like it gets the job done sometimes, man. But we can't undersell some of those neutral colors that go along with it. Okay. I think I'm almost somewhere in the ballpark here. And I am in the ballpark. Alright, that'll do. Let's just sneak it right about there. Mixed feelings about that. We add a little bit of yellow to this. A little bit more white too. Let's see if we get somewhere closer to what we need. Kind of a violet color. Yeah, it's pretty close. I was right. It had a lot of that violet in it. Ultramarine got us right over there. Good. Good, good, good. Still not light enough. It is uncanny just how much white you have to get in things sometimes. There. Oh man. God, I might need a stronger white at some point. Maybe. Alright, at least that's finally looking a little bit more like what I'm trying to do. Here, let's just sneak that in right over there. Maybe tone this down slightly. Take the edge off of that a little bit. Okay. Alright. I know I said I wasn't going to paint this area. Now here I am painting it. Story of my life. Greatest story of my life. God. There's just always more paint to go around, isn't there? Yeah, there is. Okay. Let's just do a little bit more right there. Okay. Yeah, that's probably enough for right now. Put a pretty good deal of work into this one today. Yeah, we've really got some things fixed up and starting to take a little bit more shape than it was, thankfully. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for spending your time. And I'll catch you again next time, guys. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.